I'm Minesh here, and today I want to cover how do you know that somebody, candidate, is a good fit for a loan office support position. Now, if you're familiar with the core training model, they use what is called LP1, Loan Partner 1, Loan Partner 2, and I've added in this also what you would want for executive assistant. What does that really mean? So Loan Partner 1, Loan Partner 2 are the ones who are helping make sure the file data is collected and the contract to close process is done. An executive assistant, on the other hand, is a right-hand person for the loan officer, the branch manager, where there are a lot of requirements on the loan officer's time, the sales managers or the branch manager's time, and they would rather delegate it to somebody who understands enough about the business, but is somebody Johnny on the spot, gets things done for them. In the simple way, I like to say an executive assistant keeps the promises that the branch manager makes. So let's go through very quickly on the profile. Now, before I go into that, let me just quickly point out that what we're going to use are assessments, DISC, motivators, and emotional quotient. And to give you some examples with clear numbers. And again, I use the one available from Target Training International. There are a number of versions of DISC available. I'm not a big fan of most of them just because I've found that some of them are not as accurate, predictable, reliable as possible. So use your judgment in that area. Let me share the screen with you so that you can see where exactly this information is, and I can walk you through a PowerPoint here. Okay, let me start the slideshow here. So we are going to be covering, and by the way, I'm the author of books like Stop Hiring Losers and $1 Million Team Secrets. So what we will cover is overview of DISC, workplace motivators, and emotional quotient. These are online assessments. Here is an example. The cost of a bad hire is as much as 30% of the first year's salary, according to Bureau of Labor Statistics. That can be $10,000 or more. One of my friends, who is the CEO of a big company, says it costs him $50,000 for a bad hire. So make sure that you are taking the time during the hiring process. As in one of my books I have written, hire slowly, fire quickly. So what we will cover specifically are the scores that you would need for DISC, workplace motivators, and EQ for LP1, LP2, EA, or in general, a support admin person in your team. Now, this is an example for the mortgage office, but the same will apply for a real estate. And if you're running any other business where you have people to support you, this would be definitely applicable as well. Just for clarity, I was born in Agra, India, so my accent is different. Agra is the location of Taj Mahal, by the way. Like I said, I've published over 10 books, Stop Hiring Losers, $1 Million Team Secrets, and I'm currently in the process of writing with my daughter and publishing the book called 7 Critical Career Mistakes, 7 Critical Career Skills They Do Not Teach in Schools. So this program for you is for you if you're hiring for different positions in the mortgage office or teams. Now, again, using DISC, etc., is a phenomenal idea. This will teach you about, communication, interaction with people, etc. Like I said, one of my friends says that he has found that loan officers say that, hey, a big hiring mistake is they hired a candidate even after I said no. Because once I looked at the assessment, I asked them a few questions, and I was like, this is not likely a good fit for the role you have. That doesn't mean people can't do what they're capable of doing a lot of different things, but there's always something like a right fit for the role. And just pay attention to that. Some people are fast runners in sprint, some people in long distance, right? Some people don't run at all, right? So you have to look at that from that perspective. Now, giving my background, I have a bachelor's and master's degree in engineering. And actually, I went to the college where one of the Google CEOs went there as well. And over 12 years, I hated my job as a computer programmer because my profile, my assessment did not align with the role. So on resume and skills, hey, I was a geek, but I'm a people person. I like teaching, training, coaching. Now, DISC, if you're already familiar with, you know that DISC is the universal language of how you do what you do. So you can observe by listening to people, watching people, you can actually pay attention and learn their DISC profile. We will not cover the details of that today. That's for sales and communication exercise separately. Now, behaviors, this is how we look at it. There are D, I, S, and C, and I'll give you a quick, like a very short overview. This is not about training you on DISC. It's just to give you an awareness of DISC. As you can see, there are 4 colors here. So D, I, S, and C, and you get a chart like this in the report that you will get. So the D person is looking for results. In general, they love challenges, very direct. Let's get things done. The I, looking for interaction, fun, friendly, talking to everybody around, could be very easily distracted, disorganized. Just remember that about this person. The next one is steadiness. This person is looking for not much change, things to remain calm, steady. They're great team players, but obviously they're not going to be working very fast, right? So if you're looking for a fast-paced environment to have somebody there, you want this person to work really fast, this may not be the profile you're looking for. The last is compliance. This is a person who wants facts, details. They want to make sure things are done right the first time they are done. They're looking for processes, procedures that should be followed to get things done. Okay, so let's go to the next part. This is workplace motivators. So the DISC is about how, workplace is about why we do what we do. Okay, it's even more important than DISC in hiring. There are 6 motivators. I'll give you a quick overview here. Number 1 is utilitarian. For ease, we call it money. Individualistic or power. Theoretical or knowledge. Traditional or methodology. These are people looking for certain structures and environment in their place. Aesthetic or harmonious, and these are looking for creative outlet, expression. Social or altruistic. They want to go out and help people. So here is what 2 things you must definitely know. Number 1 is money. So if their score is high on utilitarian, that simply means they will gravitate towards being commission-based salespeople, business owners, etc. Individualistic or power, these are people looking to be in charge of their destiny. They may be people who are independent, don't like micromanagement, and they're looking to build a team or be autonomous. So if these numbers are high, they are not going to be good support staff people. Please remember that very clearly. You don't want these on the top. Okay, let's go to the recommended profiles for loan partner 1, loan partner 2, could be processor, underwriter, could be even what I would call somebody in the administrative role in your team. So the DISC profile, wheel position 36, I'll show you that in the next slide. You want the I, S, and C above 50, preferably none above 80. In a small business, branch environment, where you have a small staff, you don't have a huge company with lots of departments, then you do not want anybody in the administrative staff to have scores above 80 in anything, because the moment the score goes above 80, they become inflexible. And then you deal with challenges because they're not being fast enough, they're giving too much time to details, and they're not paying attention to the results. Those things will always happen. If the influencing is much above 80, they're talking all the time, they're being distracted easily, they are not really being productive. Remember, the I is higher than C for what is called loan partner 1. This is the person who is going to engage with prospects, talk to clients. This is somebody who needs to be friendly enough. If the C is higher than I, that is for places where you want more details. The person is not interacting with people as much. They are fun friendly, doesn't need to be that high. Like I said before, the top 2 motivators cannot be utilitarian, which is money, and individualistic, which is power. The emotional quotient is a great way to find out how will they interact with other people. Do they have enough social awareness? Are they even aware of their own emotions? Their emotions run the show. Emotional quotient is important. And obviously, the higher the number, the better it is in terms of being able to connect, interact, empathize with other people. So let's go to the next one, which is executive assistant. The DISC profile, you want the D above 30. Now, this is an interesting situation. Remember, the person who is going to be an executive assistant has to work hand and glove kind of arrangement with the manager, with the salesperson, with somebody who's in charge. And those people typically are high D, which means they want things done now, they want results, and they are very fast paced. And if the person you hire to support that person is very slow, if the D score is very low, then what will happen? is the manager will get frustrated. It's like, hey, I told you to do it right away. How come you didn't? Well, to avoid that, you want the D score to be above 30, preferably not above 50, because if the score goes too high, then they want to be the leader and the manager is going to have some hustle, territorial right, so to speak, right? So again, when you want any of these numbers, DISC, none of these should be above 80 for people supporting you, because then they tend to be, like I said, inflexible. The motivators, again, for executive assistant cannot be top, money, and power. Now, another one which is very relevant, which one of my clients educated me on as well, is that if the number on knowledge, theoretical, is very high, they are extremely slow implementers. You do not want, in an environment where people have to take fast action, wear different hats, the motivator, which is information, theoretical knowledge, to be high, above the median score, because then they tend to think a lot, read a lot, listen, watch, but not take action. So that's very important to know as well. Again, the emotional quotient needs to be high. So here is an example of an administrative position. As you can see, the number is around 35, 36, near coordinator supporter, which is typically a combination of I, S, and C. What that does is this person is typically the opposite being the salesperson, the person in charge is closer to the D and the I, and on the right side, and the person in this example, the support staff, is on the left side, kind of complementing the person. So pay attention to that. This is an example. This is not the only one, because obviously you can have variations and still will be fine. Then the last one I would tell you is, if you want to continue getting training, you want to continue, join my Facebook group. I have my community built up there, and I'm building it as we go further, where we can interact with people, get support from people, and I'll be consistently providing more training so that you can be on top of these type of information. The group is called Successful Seven-Figure Earners. And even if you are not yet seven-figure, but are really on track and really wanting to get there, you can join the group and start scaling your team with the right people in the right role, and you can get there. So thanks for watching. Join the Facebook group and also connect with me on Facebook and LinkedIn. I look forward to supporting you in your journey.